G'day guys, Andrew Dwight. Hey, we've got a lot of cool things happening behind the scenes here at Plusspec and joists. And we're starting to get into the structural side, and for architects, you might find this a little bit boring. However, it's a good thing for you to learn, so if you could stick around and check it out, it might save you and your customers a lot of money by understanding these types of things. Now, typically a joist manufacturer or a timber supplier would go through and do a joist layout. And it's kind of difficult to get it right. And it's the difference between winning a job and losing a job in many cases is understanding how much waste that you're going to have. And a job like this, it could be several different types of joists to figure out the most economical way of doing it. And in this case, I'm using I-joists here. However, I could also be using floor trusses. So if I was going to look at, say, floor trusses in that model, and now I would want to understand exactly with the floor truss where they have to go and how they actually work in conjunction with steel. I also want to understand what the cost difference is between the two, and I also want to know if I could use offcuts in different areas, and obviously with truss joists we can't do that. So there's some advantages with using I-joists, there's advantages with using truss joists because we can run ducting, pipes, a whole heap of MEP can run through these joists. However, they do have a cost associated with it, and if you wanted to see how that cost worked, here's a good example. What I've done is I've just clicked estimate just on my joist here with truss joists, and you can see I have a total price of $17,077. Now that's also doing with beams and plates and everything like that, but just from what we're looking at on the screen here, you can see what's going on a little bit better. Let's have a look if I go and do a takeoff with the I-joists, and we'll go to floor joists only. Okay, and do a takeoff. So we're at 17,000 before, we're now at 10,300 and so on. Now that's not to say that that's the best method to do it, because if I can't get my MEP or mechanical, electrical and plumbing through these joists here, and I have to put bulkheads in or more steel and so on, it can quite easily reach the same cost. So it's interesting. Now what I'm going to do is show you how we're coming up with this. We're using, in this particular thing, we're using different types of joists. We're using LVL in some areas, I-joists in others, and so on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how we've remedied this issue and how we deal with waste. All I've got is a simple rectangle here. It's only small. What have we got? 3 meters, 600 by almost 8 meters. Okay. If I select this rectangle here and went to my joist, just about anyone can figure out how to do this. It's basically divide the length by the width and so on. I'm just going to put in some joists here. Okay. And it was reasonably simple. My joist is spaced out there. If I decided that I wanted to have a double joist, I'd simply click in here and I'd put a double joist in. Okay, right, very easy one, very easy example. I'm going to show you some things that we've done here. We've created a new tool, and this isn't live yet, but it is going to be very soon. Advanced estimation, and I'm going to go to my joist. Now what this is doing is going through the model and it's figuring out all the sizes of the joists. And it's also, you can also import sizes of timber, so you get that from your local manufacturer or supplier if you're not aware. Most carpenters and builders would understand the standard size of joists. And in an I-joist, we can get them in longer lengths, and therefore we can do more. Now, here are all the lengths of my joists and all the joists inside of here. And over here, this is, as I said, a really easy example. If I click text, it's just telling me these are the lengths of all of these joists. However, I want to know what size I need to order. I'm going to go autofill. And what it's done is it's given me 15 at 3.9, even though the size was 3.643, because that's the next size of joist that you purchase. Okay, and if I clear my text and I re-add my text, what it's going to do is it's actually going to put in the size that we actually purchased. Right, and now if I zoom in here, you'll notice that my dimension line is outside of the area. It's showing me how much waste we're going to throw into the bin. As I said, in a simple example like that, very easy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this all. And I'll get rid of that as well. Oops. And what I'll do is I'll close this down. We'll make it a little bit more difficult. So for instance, a lot of waste gets thrown in the bin because it's easier for a manufacturer to Just deleted the wrong line here. It's easier for a manufacturer just to send out all the same size joists, but what happens when we have something like this? Right, joists, create joists, tell them which way I want them to go. Okay, now we have a whole heap of different size joists. This is not as easy to estimate, especially because we have to purchase joists in cut size lengths. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up. I'm going to go into my Plusspec and advanced estimation and joists. It's going to go through and read all the size of the joists, and it's telling me just the base size in these joists at the moment. However, I actually want to order preferably all one length. Let's have a look and see what happens when we go autofill. This is the maximum size joist we might want to order, or the maximum size truck. Here I'm going to go autofill. Okay, and then I'm going to put my text on. Give it a second because it's doing a bit of work here. Okay, and now I can see where I'm starting to get a fair bit of waste, especially here. The minimum size I can purchase is 1.8. However, I've got a 1.73. If I scroll down here, I can go through and I can look for these sizes. So for instance, if I wanted to find a joist, there you go. You can see that it found that one there for me. However, there's another 1.8 above it. Find. And you can see they've got a 1500. Ideally, I would really just want to order this size plus this size in one joist. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove one of those lengths. So I'll find this one here. I'm going to remove that. And therefore, you'll see that now I need 1.173 meters or 1200 millimeters or 4 foot of joist that I actually need to increase. And here I've got 200 offcut as well. So I'm wasting material here. So really, if I got rid of this one as well, I actually only need 1.6 plus 1.2, right? So that is 3.8, sorry, 1.6, which is 2.6, 2.8, right? So the nearest size that I could get here is if I said, okay, this one here, I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to order a 2.8 in its place. I can't get a 2.8, I'm going to put a 2.7 in and see what happens. I got 1 meter 3, that didn't work for me, you see. So I could probably go through and delete several joists. I can go through this one and I'll say, let's get rid of this one as well, knowing that my joist size can be up to 12 meters. I can now go through and add these up here. So I've got what have I got? I've got 3 meters there, 4.5. If I ordered a 4.8, I can now go and go to here. I'm going to add in a 4.8. And if I want to check myself, up the top here, we've got the amount to order and the total amount in the joists themselves. So I can just see that I am over, haven't made a mistake in my calculations. And now if I clear all my text and then I add my text again, what it will do, it'll tell me where we added that extra joist on. So the carpenter on site who's putting this together can see, oh, okay, they've ordered a 4.8 here, but they haven't ordered it, don't have a double measurement here. So this 4.8 is going to be cut into 1173, a 1563, and I've just reduced the cost of the job, but I've also increased the communication on site. It's a huge advantage and it makes a big difference. Now this is another pretty simple example. When we move over to here, and we might have, say, a job like this, get rid of this and this. This is very difficult to estimate and figure out which way our joist directions are going to go. However, we can do it very, very simply. All I need to do is go to my joist tool, and I can select the joist according to span, and it's something that, you know, we're not going to show right now, but it is in the making. So I can say, okay, I want these joists to be here. I might want a different size joist. I might step down from my bathroom. So I might say, okay, well, I'm going to change the joist and I'm going to step down a size here. And I'll have a bathroom, say, here. Let's go from, say, here to here. Right, and you'll notice that we've got a difference in height of our joists. And if I actually wanted to change the direction of the joist, I could, or the spacing of the joist, I can do that. And I might say, okay, we're going to pop back up to our last size, and we're going to go here, here, and here. So we're at full height again here. And this one here, I'm actually going to run my joist around here. This would be a difficult thing to work out and probably take several hours to do. Create joists. I'm going to run my span this way. Okay. Now I have a very difficult job to order because I have different size joists, different heights of joists. I have a whole heap of different information there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close this down here. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to Plusspec, Advanced Estimation. Now this is, at the moment I'm just showing you joists, but we've got some things for roofs, fascias, gutters and so on, all according to what someone can actually do. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go autofill. Okay, happened that quick, right? And now I can go and associate my text. Give it a second, it's going through and it's doing every single joist. And now it's going to enable me to reduce the amount of waste and also cut my joist down into different sizes. All right, I can see how much waste I've got, and I can make decisions up now and say, well, do I want to try and get smaller sizes here, and I can start to explain to contractors what I want to do really, really quickly. More importantly, I can just export my result straight into a spreadsheet and I can order these. And that's a huge advantage. So I'm just going to call it Andrew's joist, so we can have a look at this. Save it. Go to my documents. And you'll notice that I've got a spreadsheet that has now come up that has all of the joists that are inside here, ready to be ordered. So I know that I need 20 at 3.9 and so on. As I mentioned, we can change the sizes because not all manufacturers might supply 3.9s, they might supply 3.6s, and all you do is import those sizes according to. Guys, it's going to be a huge help. It's a massive change, and we hope that it saves a lot of waste on site, and it also saves a lot of money. It's all about creating the best job that we can for the least amount of money in the least amount of times. All these joist layouts can also be spat out into a 2D format so that we can actually go and look at how we plan on doing this particular job. All right, hope it helps out. I look forward to your feedback, guys. It's not live yet, but it will be live soon. All right, cheers. Mentioned, guys, it is on its way to production. If you've got any comments or you think there's some things that we can do better or got any questions, by all means ask us because we haven't released this just yet. Check us out on our website, there's plusspec.com, or go to rubysketch.com if you're a manufacturer and you'd like to get involved.